Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm covering the expansion to a game I covered earlier this year, Worldbreakers. This is the Indigo Sisterhood, and disclaimer that I got a review copy of this one. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So like I said, I already covered Worldbreakers. This is a 1v1 sort of Magic the Gathering-esque card game. But I really love this one, and it technically came out in 2023. So besides just wanting to cover and try out the expansion, which has a different solo mode than the original game, I also wanted to make it eligible for my top 40 of the year, because, spoiler, it's going to be on there. I really like it. So I'm going to show you the new solo mode, play a couple of scenarios, and talk about my thoughts of how they changed up the solo play with the expansion in general. So in the original game, you had a 10-chapter solo campaign following different characters in this sort of magical realism world, which takes actual history with Kublai Khan and Marco Polo and some other people, but then adds in this mystical gem that allows like magical powers and like automatons and all this crazy stuff called Mythium, basically unobtainium. And the Indigo Sisterhood picks up with that story following some new characters, and it has a bunch more chapters, but it also has an entirely new solo mode that makes what was a more simplified solo in the original game into a bit more of a full automa, and also has quite varied scenarios. I'm skipping past Chapter 11 because it feels a bit more tutorialish. I have not lost that one yet, whereas everything 12 and on I've lost at least once or twice. But I do want to show you quickly the end of Chapter 11 because it's pretty cool. So in the campaign, you are told exactly which cards to start with, so all of these are pre-selected for me. But then I've got this side deck of extra cards, and at the end of most scenarios, including this one, Chapter 11, I'm going to take 4 of these at random and add them to my pool. Now, I say my pool because in the original solo campaign, you would add cards to your deck and they would permanently be there. In this one, instead, there's very light deck construction involved because these new cards become potential cards in each chapter for you to play with, but in each chapter, you're going to take your full deck of cards, your full available pool, and take out some of them. I think in this one, I have to take out 4 cards. So it's not like full-on deck construction. You don't have to think a ton about it. You just take out a few cards you don't think will work well for the chapter. So let's jump into Chapter 12. I'm not going to go through the whole narrative of what's going on because it's more than halfway through, so you wouldn't really get everything. But I'm going against a different enemy deck this time, the Void deck, so they have me build this, and these decks are also going to upgrade as the game goes along. And then I get some key things. My deck size is 22, and I have 26 cards in my deck right now, so I got to cut out 4 of them, like I said. The Emissary is one of 6 automa you can play against, so I'm going to use their actions and stuff. And also special rules, they start with a pretty powerful unit called the Alamut Emissary in play, which is going to make things tough from the start. And then I've got the core chapter rules of how we win. In this case, it says if my opponent ever has at least 8, 7, or 5 power, you immediately lose the game. And this is one of the difficulty settings in the game. So I'm going to pick the 7, which is hard mode, but not quite the most difficult. I have not beat this one with the 5 yet. The 7, I've won half, lost half. What I have to do at game end is win if I have at least 4 power. So I need to get at least 4 while preventing them from getting at least 7 at my difficulty. Now, if you didn't watch my previous video, you get power, one of the core resources you're fighting for, both by making successful attacks on your enemy and by building out locations in your deck and using them to earn power. So here I mainly need to control their attacks so they don't overwhelm me and get a ton of power, while finding some way to scrabble together just a little bit of power, only 4. Now, when does the game end and when do I check this 4 power threshold? In this solo mode, different than the previous one, it's when you go through the entire AI deck. In this case, it is 10 cards long. But again, more cards will get added to this deck, so later chapters do tend to go slightly longer. But yeah, I got to pick which 4 cards I want to take out. So let me talk about some things if you didn't see the previous video. So the cost up here is the amount of Mythium they cost. So more means they're going to be a more powerful card, but also harder to get out. You only start with 5 Mythium, and you tend to get 2 around. So something like this costing 5 is pretty crazy. And then you've also got standing requirements for many cards, although some are neutral and don't have any icon there. There are 4 standings, or colors, or clans, or whatever you want to call them: Earth, Stars, Moon, and Void. And you start out with 1 standing in whatever your leader. Mine is Miriam. This is what you use for the campaign. Whatever standing she's linked with. So here I get 1 Moon standing. You used to use cards to mark these, but now they've added these nice, thick little tiles here. And dice, so that means 1. You can go all the way up to 6. If I go above 6, which is possible, though usually not very useful, I can have one of these 6 tiles and then keep going from there. But yeah, so I've got 1 Moon standing. And how standing works is, in order to play a card, you must have the minimum amount of standing. So I can't play this Patient Mentor even if I have 5 Mythium, unless I have at least 2 standing for Moon. How do you get standing? A lot of cards will give you standing, or alternatively, as an action on your turn, you can spend 2 Mythium and gain a standing of your choice. All right, so that's how you play cards. Now, what types of cards do you have? You have followers, which are units that'll give you special powers, let you attack, let you defend, a basic kind of thing. You have locations, as I mentioned earlier. You can develop them. They get as many tokens as the Roman numerals indicated here, and each time you develop them, you use the topmost one you haven't done yet, although also enemy attacks can get rid of the tokens and kind of take away your chance to develop them. And once they've been developed or attacked, to lose all of their tokens, they get discarded. And then finally, you've got events, which, as you can imagine, like most card games that have events, are one-time things that give you a bonus and then go away. And also for followers, they have 2 important stats. Strength is how much damage they do to somebody else when they're attacking or blocking. This is how much damage they can take. Damage does build up and sit on units, and once they reach their capacity, they are discarded. But yeah, let's look at the 4 that got added. I got Patient Mentor, which costs a ton, but lets me store another card here. When they enter, I get to store a follower from my hand, and I get to draw a replacement card. And then when this unit blocks, I can play a card stored here, paying all costs. That's okay. Not impressing me too much. A little bit too hard to get out. Another super expensive one, the Volatile Furnace, also 5, also 2 standing. When it enters, I can damage the Volatile Furnace to defeat a follower. Ooh, so I can kill one of their units for free just by taking away my ability to use this first development, which is gain 2 power. That's really good. This is kind of awesome. So it's 5 Mythium to kill an enemy unit for free and then still be able to get 2 more power later, half what I need to win the scenario. Maybe I'll keep that one in. And I also got Stomp. Cost me 3. It is an event. Needs 2 standing. As an additional cost to play Stomp, exhaust a follower you control. Defeat a follower. If you defeat an exhausted follower's way, gain 1 standing with any guild. Another straight-up kill effect. And this is a scenario where they're going to throw a lot of enemies at me. And I could, exhaust a pretty weak follower. So sure, that one's worth doing, although that's 2 that require 2 standing. And the last one is Humble Underpass. Only costs 2. Ooh, gets me Mythium and power and standing with guild. That one's great. All right, so for now, I'm going to get rid of that one, and then I'll just kind of take off camera me picking which other 3 things to get rid of. All right, so what else did I get rid of? Surprising Development is an event that gets me extra money, but I have to damage locations, and I don't have that many locations in my deck yet to get its full value. Weathered Surveyor really pays off having standing in a lot of different guilds, but I'm tending to focus on Moon, at least right now. You're about to kind of branch out, so I'm not going to use her. Really expensive location, and the Patient Mentor we already saw. Okay, so my deck is ready to go. I just shuffle it up, and I draw 5 cards with a mulligan. I can put any cards aside, redraw, and then shuffle them back into my deck. And the Automa and I each start with 5 Mythium. Now, just to show them briefly, they start with 1 Void standing. They've got, as I mentioned, this really powerful guy, the Alamut Emissary, already out. He's 2/4 and does free damage to my unit. Friggin' sucks. He's really annoying at the start. They've got a deck of 10 cards, and they've got these 2 cards for the specific leader that is leading them, the Emissary in this case. But they would have different actions and different priorities based on whoever we're going against. So I got to see if I want to keep my 5 cards. But to briefly talk about how a round goes, again, if you didn't see the original video, we are going to alternate taking 1 action until we've each taken 4 actions. Actions being things like playing cards, attacking, gaining more Mythium, drawing more cards, gaining standing with a guild. And then at the end of the round, we get to resolve any rally abilities, which are like ongoing bonuses from units and such. We get to unexhaust, ready all our cards. We get some free Mythium, draw a free card. And then this flips, so whoever went last in one round also gets first go in the next round, so they kind of get a double turn. Well, let's look at these. So I've got for 3, and with standing that I have, a Rallying Batter. There's a follower, 2/3, pretty tough. Ooh, and after they ready, I gain 1 Mythium. So if they exhaust to do something and then ready at the end of the round, I would get 1 Mythium. But also they combo well with my leader, Miriam. Each leader has a special ability. In her case, it says response. After you exhaust a follower during your turn, exhaust to ready that follower. So if I had this guy attack and exhaust, I could use her power to immediately ready him, which would trigger his response and get me a free Mythium. And then I could theoretically have him attack again later and get me another Mythium when he readies at the end of the round. So he's pretty cool. Okay, Mythium Ingot costs 1 Mythium. Play only on turn 4 of a round. Or ignore that if you have at least 4 Moon, which clearly I won't for a while. Oh, but gain 5 Mythium, so it's just 4 extra Mythium. Now, a regular action will get you 1 Mythium, or you can draw a card. So it's kind of like 3 extra Mythium, but that one's decent. Let's see what else I got. Ooh, this one's way more decent. Look at this. Yam Operator. When it enters, it's only a 1/1 follower with 1, but it says play an event card paying 1 Mythium less. So if I play her as my 4th action in a round, I can also play the Mythium Ingot for free and for one action get a weak follower, but also get 5 Mythium back, so a 4 discount. Heck yeah, it's a great combo. Okay, then who else do I have? Earth Apprentice. There's a lot of apprentices in my deck. They just give me a free standing, in this case Earth Standing, which doesn't really help me play any of my cards at the moment. But they also have other bonuses, and they're 2/2. If you control at least 2 other followers, drawing 1 card, which might be possible. But they're not that great. And then Lowly Bard is a 1/1. I get 1 Mythium for each standing you have across all guilds, which is better late game. So I'm actually going to mulligan both of these, keep those 3. And what do I end up with? Peaceful Engineers. When I enter, I can play a location card, paying 1 less. And hey, I got a location card. This is a good combo. They're only a 1/2. And which location is this? Submerge Brilliance. It's got 3 of these things called stage counters. The first time I develop it, I would draw 2 cards and get 2 Mythium. Then I gain a power and 1 standing with any guild, and then I gain another power. So not like an amazing location, but with Peaceful Engineers. Very good. So yeah, I like my hand. That's a solid start. So we'll get to my first turn and what I want to do and see how the Automa works when it gets to them. All right, and I do want to go with the strong dude to kind of match their strong past person. So I'm going to play the Rallying Ba'atur as my first action. It costs 3 Mythium. That's all that happens on my turn. And then we go to the first turn for the Emissary. So let's see what's going on with the AI. So in the original solo mode, you would have an AI deck that was composed exclusively of followers, of units, and then you would be using these cards and flipping them. So there was like a little bit of variety, but for the most part, what they would do is they would recruit a person every odd turn and then attack with them every even turn. Worked great. I'm not criticizing it all. I really loved the solo play in this one. But this is a little bit more varied and slightly more involved, although it's still easy to run. Their deck now is composed of followers and events and locations, like a more realistic player. And they have action priorities that you are aware of. So what you do is you look through them and you resolve the first one that applies. So for the Emissary, and again, this is going to be different for each character, for 7 Mythium, if they have it, they will gain 1 power and then play a card. They never pay for cards, so the Mythium is only used for activating these actions. If they don't have 7 Mythium, they will attack with 1 follower if they have at least 2 ready followers. Most of these attack with a lot more people, but these ones only like to do a little singular attacks to get extra damage off. If they can't do that, which is the case here, but they have at least 2 Mythium, they'll play a card. If they can't do that because they don't have at least 2 Mythium, then they will develop a location they control. So the Emissary is very much about getting cards played, not about developing locations. Some of the people are more about those. And then the last thing they'll do if they can't do any of the rest is they gain Mythium equal to their current Void standing. Then they attack with everybody. So right now they have 1 Void, which also will limit which cards they could play. They started with this guy who requires 2 Void, but anytime they would play a card, they will flip cards until they get one that they can currently play with their standing, and then they shuffle the rest of the cards into the deck. So yeah, here they are going to play a card for 2 of their 5 Mythium. So we just flip up the first one, and it is a follower, Void Apprentice. So it does not require any standing, so they're fine. They ignore the Mythium cost. And you do resolve all its abilities, unlike in the previous solo mode where you often didn't use special powers. So it says when it enters, they gain 1 Void. So they're going to be able to play things a lot more easily. And then if a follower was defeated this round, they would draw 1 card. Although any time an effect causes the Automa to draw a card, they instead gain 1 Mythium. All right, so they've got a nasty customer there. I'm not loving that. Because I was thinking I would attack with the Rallying Ba'atur on my turn to use their little power to get an extra Mythium. But they would now block with the Void Apprentice, doing 2 damage to the Ba'atur. And then the Alamut Emissary, when he eventually attacks, he does 1 damage for free to one of my units. So there's a good chance he would just finish this dude off. So although if I just wait, this guy's going to come anyway. I don't know. Yeah, how do I want to respond on my turn? I can't do the Peaceful Engineer Submerge Brilliance combo, because that would cost 1 Mythium to play him, and then with the 1 Mythium discount, I would still need 2 for the Submerge Brilliance, so that'd be 3 total. I can't play the Yam Operator Mythium Ingot combo until I get to the 4th turn because of the Mythium Ingots restriction. So if I'm not going to attack with that guy, I need to either get a Mythium or draw a card. If I get a Mythium, I can afford to play these. So sure, I'll go ahead and get a Mythium for my entire action. You don't want to do that very often, but here I think it's maybe a good idea. All right, and now they don't have to do number 3 to play another card because number 2 applies. If they have at least 2 ready followers, they attack with 1 follower. Now, who do they attack with? There's a general priority for everything, for how they choose. And generally, they're going to prefer the person with the most standing requirement and then the highest mythium cost. There's a few other tiebreakers besides that. But this guy needs 2 standing, and they need 0. So they assume that that guy's the best. So he is going to attack. And unfortunately, he has the ability I mentioned, Bloodshed. When this attacks alone, it deals 1 wound to a follower defending player controls. That's why they like attacking alone for powers like that. All right, so he's going to do 1 damage for free to my Rallying Ba'atur. Okay, so he's declared attackers. Now I can freely defend each attacking person with up to 1 of my ready units. It exhausts them as well. And if I do that, their attack gets canceled, because when their attack is not canceled, they're about to get some power, which, remember, will trigger an automatic win if they get too much, 7, and also will damage my locations. If I block them, none of that happens, but we deal damage to each other, which would kill my really cool guy and would only leave them with 2 out of their 4 life. So I am not going to block them. I'm going to let them get through, which means they do what's called Breach, which is what I just mentioned. They get 1 power for each unblocked attacker. And if I had locations, they would take away 1 of the tokens that I could use to develop it. Total, no matter how many attackers got through, you only take away 1 of the location icons. Okay, so we've given them 1 power, but nothing else bad happened. Well, that's not true. Guess my guys got plinked for 1 damage. But now I can do that other thing. Do I still want to do that? Crud. I was going to do the Peaceful Engineer Submerge Brilliance thing, but then I realized I won't have enough Mythium to play the Yam Operator. But you know what? I think it's still worth it. Okay, so for my 3rd action, I will play the Peaceful Engineer for 1 Mythium. And then I can play a location with a 1 discount, which will be the Submerge Brilliance. So I am broke, but it has 3 of these tokens. And if I develop it on my next action, I'll get to draw 2 cards and gain 2 Mythium, which will set me in a nice place going into the next round. So we'll try that out. All right, back to them. They don't have at least 2 followers, so they are going to pay 2 to play another card. And they got another follower. Geez. Pernicious Planter. Okay, it's a 1/2. When Pernicious Planter would wound a follower blocking it, deal those wounds to another follower defending player controls instead. So just slightly annoying, but they're only a 1/2, so yeah, they're definitely not that bad. Now, I should note I can often predict their actions. Here I know next turn they're going to have 2 ready attackers, and they're going to attack with the one that requires more standing first, so actually Pernicious Planter over the Void Apprentice. So I can kind of predict that coming. I'm not too worried about that here. Okay, my final action is going to be to develop the Submerge Brilliance. So it's the first token, so I get to draw 2 cards and gain 2 Mythium. And I'm about to draw more cards and gain more Mythium at the end of the round, so I should be in a nice place. And what'd I get? Another location and Fateful Meaning. Draw 1 card for each guild you have standing with. That's not too great yet, but maybe later on that'll be useful. All right, and their final action is to, as I said, attack. They are going to prefer the Pernicious Planter. So whoever they would hurt, they're going to deal it to somebody else, which actually works out very well for me. I'm going to exhaust the Rallying Ba'atur to block. I cannot use Miriam's ability on them because they are not exhausting during my turn. It has to be like when they're attacking or using some other ability. But they will still ready in a second in the rally phase, and I'll get an extra Mythium. Yay. All right, so they do 2 damage to those guys, which will kill them. And this person would do 1 damage to them, but whoops, their ability, they're doing it to the Engineer instead, who I would much rather have get hurt because they already served their purpose getting that location out. All right, cool, and that's the end of the round. There are no rally abilities, but we ready everything, which is going to gain me 1 more Mythium from my rallying people. And then we each get 2 Mythium and draw a card. The Automa does get the 2 Mythium, and they do get to ready everybody, but they do not draw the card, and they do not get, this is the only instance where they don't get the 1 Mythium instead of drawing a card. At the end of each round, they just get 2 Mythium. They don't get the draw card bonus. But I do. Ooh, exhaust all followers. But I have a lot of followers, right? Yeah, I'm not sure if that's very good. Ooh, but actually with Miriam's ability, this might be very good. Yeah, okay. Oh, but never mind. We don't have enough standing to play it yet. All right, and finally we whoosh, flip over, which unfortunately means they're going to go first and attack me right away. Don't love that, but we'll see how it goes. Yep, so they are attacking, and once again, they're going to go for the Emissary. They're doing 1 automatic damage, and they prefer the unit that has most standing, tied, and then most Mythium cost. So they are hurting the Rallying Ba'atur again, which is kind of good because they didn't finish off the Engineers. And I'm actually going to block with the Engineers because I don't want them to get through. Not as much because they'll get another power, but because they'll destroy the development token for my Submerged Brilliance here. And I kind of would like to develop it to gain a standing and a power so I can play that card I showed you a second ago. So yeah, they are dead, but they do get 1 damage off on him. And I know they're not going to attack again until they get another unit, so I'm somewhat safe here. So with that in mind, let's develop this. So I get a power. It's my first of 4 I need, although remember I need to survive. And I get a standing with any guild. I will choose Moon. So now I can play, I think, pretty much every card in my deck. You don't get to 3 Moon cards until later. I could develop that for 1 more power at some point, but no real hurry to do that. Okay, now I get to round 2 for them, and the one that applies is paying 2 to play a card. Another follower, geez. Okay, Resourceful Aid. This says, your attack. The first time each round one of your followers attacks alone, gain 2 Mythium. That's annoying. So if that guy's alive, he's just going to give them more money, and they are about to attack, and he would be the one who would attack. So I could kill them with the Rallying Batter. Although, is that what I want to do? Or should I play my Miriam's Nullifier thing? You know what? I like this better. Okay, so I'm going to play Miriam's Nullifier. It costs me 2 of my 5. So it exhausts all followers, and this is happening on my turn, of course. Mine and theirs. But I can use Miriam's power since it is my turn to ready a follower, which will get me, per their ability, 1 more Mythium. So I think that kind of worked out pretty well. And I can attack with that guy if I want to. All right, now for their turn, they can't attack. They don't have 2 Mythium, so they are going to gain Mythium equal to this and then attack with all their followers, which is none. So all they're doing is gaining 2 Mythium. So kind of a wasted turn. I stopped that guy from getting them 2 Mythium for free. I think that was good. All right, now I get to my 3rd turn. So I do want to do the Yam Operator Mythium Ingot thing in a moment. But before that, I think this is the right call. What if I attack with this guy? I will gain a Mythium when he rallies in a moment, and I'll get another power since clearly nobody can block me. They don't have a location for me to raid and damage, but yeah, I mean, that's getting me another point towards the 4 I need. Maybe a good idea. Their final action is going to be a card play. Oh, and it's a location. Well, sad I attacked already. Okay, so interrupt. When an opponent damages a location you control during combat, deal 2 wounds to an attacking follower. That's a stupid location. Oh, it's a minefield. That makes sense. Oh gosh, and if they develop it, they deal 2 wounds to a follower, and they can gain a power. Yeah, I don't love all that free damage, but that's kind of Void's thing. And finally, for my turn, even though it's kind of overkill, I'm going to do the combo of the Yam Operator for 1, and then I can play this for free, and I get 5 more Mythium. So I have way more than enough money, not necessarily much to do with it yet. I mean, I guess I can play like this location, but I'd love to draw some big followers and play them. I wish I'd kept that 5-cost follower now, because apparently I got my economic engine going well. So it's the end of the round. I get 1 for unexhausting them. I get 2 more, so I'm at, what, 11? Wow. Oh, now all their bad guys are back, including their nastiest one. So maybe this was all terrible, terrible idea. And they're going to kill the Rallying Batter right away. Although I get to go first, and I get to draw a card. Come on, something expensive. Darn it. Weary Veteran is a 1/2, but if I have at least 3 standing with a guild, which I don't, I can get a free +1/+1 counter on him. All right, yeah, I'm not feeling lovely about my position, although I have got 2 out of 4 that I need. They've only got 1 power, so, you know, if I can just persist, I'll be in a decent place. But yeah, let's flip it over and get to my turn in round 3. Okay, I think I have kind of a clever idea for my first action here, sort of using the AI's priorities against them. I could play people, but I know they're about to attack me. They got a lot of units, and I'm going to kind of waste both these people potentially. So I'm doing an attack against them on my first action with everybody. Okay, they're all going out. You can attack with as many people as you want with a single action. And now let's carefully look at how they're going to block, because I think it's going to work out pretty well for me. Okay, so I got my people over here. They're technically exhausted. Oh, sorry. I'm going to use Miriam's ability to unexhaust this guy as he attacks, just to get the Mythium from his power. All right, so each of the enemies has their own blocking priority. So this one says, block whenever you have more ready followers than the attacking player. So they do currently have more ready followers than the attacking player because, they are exhausted. They have 3 ready followers. I have 1. Because even though that one's attacking, it's still ready. If you have fewer or an equal number, don't block. So they're going to block both my people. So each time you block, blocking an attacking follower with the least remaining health, they both have 1 health remaining. And then we go back to the regular priorities, means they're going to try to block this person first because they want to kill the valuable unit. And they block with the blocker with the lowest Mythium cost for 3/3. But here's where it kind of works in my favor. They go to their regular priority once this 3 is tied. So they're going to block with their better person, which means they will kill my dude, but he was on borrowed time anyway. But I killed their dude, who was going to give them 2 extra money every time that they attacked with a single person, which would have happened in a second with their big boy doing free damage to me, killing my best guy anyway, getting them money. So that was all in Mike's favor. Okay, then they are going to block her with this dude. They take 1 damage. That wasn't that great for me, but I figured if the other guy was dead, I might as well kill her too, because he'll just kill her for free anyway when he attacks. But it does exhaust the Void Apprentice, so at least it'll take them a little bit longer to attack me. That leaves me with even more Mythium and still not great things to play, but it'll be okay. All right, so on their turn, they can play a card. So they're not going to develop their place, so they'll pay 2. And I should note they only have 6 cards left, because remember their deck is only 10. So they are halfway through their deck now, which means halfway through the time. So I need to get 2 more power ASAP. Oh, they're doing an event. Oh, crud. They gain 2 money, and they may immediately attack, which means attack with everybody, because they always prefer to, except for their special attack here. So they are going to attack with this guy, which means his bloodshed is wasted, because there is nobody to defend. But they are going to damage the last thing on Submerged Brilliance, so that's destroyed. And they do get a second power. Although, compared to other times I've played, I'm less worried about them getting to, 7 power. I'm more worried about me not getting to 2 at this point. But cool, they have nobody left. So on their next turn, they're just going to play a card. And they won't even have enough money to play another card. So they shouldn't be able to attack me again this turn. They probably will do 2 free damage to a follower. So I need to kind of have that in mind. All right, so what I want to do for my second action. I could use Fateful Meeting just to draw cards. I could put out this, and that lets me draw even more cards. Yeah, let's do this. So I'm going to pay 3 for the Muhandasat Archives. It has a special ability. Abilities that count your standing treat you as having an extra 2 moon standing. Not going to help me at all with Fateful Meeting working better because it's each guild you have standing with, which Earth, Stars, and Void being the case. But if something else, like that Lowly Bard card earlier that gave me 1 Mythium for each standing, it would boost that. But the main thing is I'm getting that. And the first time I develop it, I get to draw 2 cards. The second time I develop it, I get 1 power. I can exhaust a follower, get another power. So that would get me enough to win, and drawing more cards to spend my crazy amount of Mythium. That all sounds good. Okay, their second action is to play a card. So they got 4 left in the deck. Oh, it's a Novice Cut Purse. So they're only a 1/1, but after Novice Cut Purse is blocked, gain 2 Mythium and 1 standing with any guild. So if they attack, which they shouldn't for a while, they got better people to attack with. But if they attack and I block them, or instead of just letting them through, they'll do some annoying stuff. All right, now number 3, I'm going to go ahead and draw 2 cards. Not in a hurry to play anybody when they got damage hanging over my head. Ooh, Volatile Furnace. That just gets me a ton of power. Oh, that's right, but I can damage when it first comes out to kill a follower. Ooh, I can get rid of their super dude. I love that option, and I got the money for it. But that's it for now. Now, what are they going to do? They can't pay 2. Oh, they're going to develop to deal 2 wounds to a follower. They'll never deal wounds to their own people. So I think they just develop for no effect, which, hey, that's beautiful for me. I actually haven't seen them do that before, so that was lucky. All right, now they are about to get another action. Which will just be to get some money. Oh, and to attack with the Cut Purse. Kind of get the Volatile Furnace out to kill a guy? Because that way they won't have, because they're about to take a double turn and they'll get their cool guy back. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? So I'm spending 5, and I am going to damage it immediately. So I'll take away that gain 2 power action that would have gotten me to my final victory point condition. But I get to defeat a follower for free. Get out of here, super emissary guy. But I have 0 followers and a lot of locations that are just going to attack. This is great playing, Mike. You're thinking like a star here. Because, yeah, they are going to do this one. They'll gain Mythium equal to their Void. Oh, no, they're going to develop a location. Never mind. That's better for me. So you're going to develop that and get a 3rd power, but they're not to 7 yet, so that's okay. That'll end the round, but they're about to come for me again. So they only got 2 weak people now. I don't mind. Oh, this is depleted. This is gone because they got all the tokens from it, and they are getting 2 more Mythium. And then I just get some more money. And, ooh, I like this one. Alert Warden, a 4/3. Now, unfortunately, while I have less than 4 moon, I'm only at 2 right now. They have stationary, which means they can't attack, but man, oh man, can they defend. I want to get them out quick. Maybe get some power, be ready to win, because they're going to play through their deck soon. All right, here we go. So they are definitely attacking. They prefer the guy with more standing first. So the Novice Cut Purse is going to run in. I don't have anybody to block him with, so he'll just get through, get some power. And they're going to prefer to damage my Volatile Furnace for 1, since it has more standing and more Mythium cost. But I can afford them getting the power. That's okay. And I think I'm going to play out the Alert Warden and then maybe get some power for my locations to be ready to win. Because the game does end as soon as they finish playing their final cards. You don't get to finish out the round. All right, and they're going to play a card. They only have 3 left. Silent Assassin. It's a 1/1. Oh, and they also have the Bloodshed ability to deal damage. But yeah, if they come calling for me, my Alert Warden will have something to say about that. All right, and what else do I want to do? What if I play my lowly bard to get a bunch of money, and then I can also use... Yeah, let's do this. So I'm going to play the lowly bard. I gain 1 Mythium for each standing I have across all guilds, which, because this is counting me as having 2 extra moon, is 4. So I'm paying 1, but getting 4 back. I like that a lot. And then I can use her to exhaust when I do this Archives power to get 2 power instead of 1 and be ready to win. Of course, they're going to attack. This person has more standing, so they get to do Bloodshed, and they prioritize the Alert Warden, and then he will block him and kill him and only take 1 more damage. Nice job, buddy. Okay, then since they won't be able to attack me, I'm going to go ahead and do what I said. So I'm going to gain 1 power, and I may exhaust a follower I control to gain another power. So I'm at the 4 I'm required to have. Now I just need to not let them get to their threshold before they run out of cards. All right, and... Oh, they are gaining 2 Mythium. Oh, and attacking with everybody. Whoops. Void Apprentice is getting right through. Gets him another power. So like I said, it's super hard to win on the toughest difficulty setting. They would have just gotten 5 power and been victorious immediately. Here, I just need to keep them from getting 2 more to 7. They do also get to damage my Volatile Furnace. So, whoops. Bye-bye. But I've got 2 followers. They've got 2 followers. I've got a lot of money. I've got the power I need. So I'm feeling decent here. Oh, you know, I just realized. Technically, I could have used her to unexhaust the lowly bard when she was exhausted on my turn. Not that I'm going to attack with her. Well, I guess I could. Could play Faithful Meetings to gain 1 card for each guild you have standing with, but I can also use an action to draw 1 card. And I could play the Weary Veteran, but they would kind of suck. I think I'm going to draw. Yeah, because I don't need any more power by having her attack. They don't have any locations to damage. Yeah, I'm going to draw for my final action. Ooh, Lunar Archivist. Only a 1/2. But she has a nice action, especially with Miriam. Exhaust to gain 2 Mythium, and if you have at least 4 moon standing, also draw a card. And you could do that twice with Miriam, which is pretty crazy for like economy and card draw and everything. All right, so we get some money. I get another card draw. Oh, Natty Matron. Looking so natty. After you gain standing, you get to draw 1 card. Especially good. I haven't gotten many of my followers to give me free standing. But I could just like take the action that costs 2 to do that to get some free card draw as well. Although at this point, the name of the game is just like defend and don't let them get any more power. So I think I'll be okay. Which should be a lot easier with them only having 2 pretty weak people. Even my lowly bard could kill both of them. Do have a lot of money though. I'm glad they don't have 7 to do the gain 1 power and play a card combo. That sucks. All right. I'm first. Awesome. I have a decent little combo, I think. Let's pay 3 for the Natty Matron. I'm going to gain a standing on my next turn and then play the Weary Veteran boosted by having 3 standing after that. So that was 1 action. All right, and they are going to attack with the Cut Purse. So if I block, I'll give them 2 Mythium and they'll get the super thing. But if I let them through, they get 1 of their last 2 power needed, and they still got to play 3 cards. Shoot. Oh, but they get 2 power anyway. But at least I'll make them spend all their money. Shoot. Oh, you know what? Yeah, what the heck. I'm going to have the Natty Matron that just came out block because she can survive just taking 1 damage. This guy's dead, but they're getting 2, so they're ready to do the super action on their next turn. And they get a 3rd void standing. Didn't love any of that. All right, but let's continue with my idea. So I'm going to pay 2 to gain my 3rd standing, which will let me draw a card with the Natty Matron's response. It's money and power. Nah, I don't really need that. But I can play a more powerful Weary Veteran in a second. That was my main goal here. All right, and now they are very happy. They're spending everything to get their 6th out of 7 power. So if they get any more, they win. And they get to play a card. That's all part of this first priority. Oh, but it's a location. That seems fine. Oh, crud. They can get power. Oh, shoot. Okay. Gain 1 power, gain 2 power. Shoot. So they would develop. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so they don't get power with the middle option. So if I can attack this turn to take away 1 of those, crud, why did I forget they had locations? All right, so yeah, it's fine. Oh, crud, the Alert Warden can't even attack. All right, Lowly Bard is attacking, and they are not going to block because we have equal standing people. In fact, let's have Miriam unexhausted so she can attack again if necessary. So she plinks on through. I get a 5th power, which I don't need, but I get to damage that. So I take away the 1 power 1. So what are they going to do? You draw 1 card, which is 1 money for them, and gain a standing with the guild. That's fine. Then if she can attack again and take out that one, All good. See, that's basically happening right now, right? Because they can't pay 7, they can't attack, they can't pay 2. Yep, so they're going to develop this. Oh man, this could not have worked out better. I almost had an auto loss there. And then for my final action, forget your location. I'm going to get a 6 power because once again, they won't block. And I deplete this before they get a chance for the auto win from the power. And I've still got my Alert Warden. I've still got Weary Veteran to play next turn. So I'm okay. I'm okay. But they're getting a ton of money and attacking. Yeah. Because they can't do anything else. So they're going to gain equal to, 4? Oh, crud. Okay. And then they also attack with all followers. So this guy comes out. I got to block him or I'm dead. So the Alert Warden and the Void Apprentice kill each other. Please play your last 2 cards. Do you have enough? Oh, shoot. No, I'm going to lose. Gosh, darn it. I just realized they're going to get up to 7 power. Shoot. Because they're going to get 2 money. I don't have any way to steal money. Gosh, darn it. What do they have left? I rate Vandal. I could have dealt with, that does damage. Oh my gosh, I could have. Okay, well anyway, this actually took a little bit longer. I thought I was going to show you. I'll show you what the next scenario would look like and how it kind of develops from here. But I think that'll be enough of a play. I'm so frustrated with myself. I let them get through with a little bit too much power. I could have stopped more of it. I could have blocked more. I didn't need all these. Sorry, everybody. Don't like to lose, especially at easier. Well, I guess I was playing on harder difficulty. If I was playing on the easier difficulty, they would have had to get 1 more power. In fact, let's just play it out as though we were playing on the easier difficulty, because I think I'll be able to lock it in pretty well for that. And if not, I'm losing on the easiest difficulty, and that'll make me feel a little embarrassed. All right, so we got all our stuff, and yep, they are first. So boom, boom, boom. Shuffle the cards now that I saw them. You got their 7th power, and they're dealing 2 wounds to a follower. Who are they going to prioritize? I guess it would be, they have more standing, so they kill her. And then I just want to get more like defenders, right? So let's play the Weary Veteran. And they go to 2-3 because I have enough standing. And then they're going to get 4 more and play their final card in a second, which is going to be a follower. Yes, it doesn't much matter what I do. I guess I would maybe get out the Lunar Archivist for more money and almost to start drawing cards. Because then on my next turn, I could use her and use Miriam to unexhaust her and then use her again. But no need because they're going to pay 2, play this guy. Or when he enters, he may damage a location, which I don't have any. And that would be that because you resolve their final card. So, okay, I would have won on the easiest difficulty, just barely missed the win on the harder difficulty, not even close to winning on the toughest one. Yeah, they ramp it up really quickly. I think Chapter 11 is pretty easy. Again, I haven't lost it. This one, it's been, like I said, 50-50 on not the hardest setting. So, but what would happen at the end of Chapter 12? Because it is really cool, and I really like how the campaign kind of develops. All right, so you get these interludes, you get a lot of narrative stuff, and then Uneasy Alliance. I get to pick whether I want to ally with the Khanate and splash my deck into that faction, or ally with the Order, who is just fighting me, and splash my deck into there. It gives me 4 automatic cards to my deck to give me more options when I'm deck building at the beginning of each scenario. And it adds some cards to my progression deck. Those are the ones that I'm randomly drawing. But you saw that I had a very different mix of 4 cards that I drew. So playing the same chapters and playing through the campaign again, you'll get different level ups as you go and unlock different cards. Then you also get an ongoing power. These are awesome. So look, Borakchin's Determination. When I attack, if an attacking follower has exactly 1 remaining health, I draw 1 card. So like if I attack with the Lowly Bard, who only has 1 health, I'll get free card draw over and over. Heck yeah. Or if I allied with them, every time I play an event, I draw a card. Nice and simple. And it'll kind of push you down different paths with your deck construction. And again, you can see lots of replay because I could play through the entire campaign with the Khanate and then play through the entire campaign with this, and it'd also be unlocking other cards. And then the next chapter gives me 2 more cards. My deck gets a little bit bigger. I use the Stellar Maven, a different side of the cards that has different priorities. Their deck gets bigger with tougher cards. So again, they're leveling up along with us. And then you have very different rules. Like this one is cool. You're trying to get power, but then use that power to gain enough standing in stars so that your star standing is at least as much as their power. So you're defending against them, you're attacking to gain power or developing locations. You're using that power to get stars, but you're also very much encouraged to play followers that get you power for free or to spend your action spending Mythium to gain extra power. So cool little scenario there. Then it goes from there. You're attacking caravans. You're doing all kinds of stuff. Again, the Automa priorities change each time. So that's a really cool system. And yeah, I guess I'll just go right into my review of the expansion. I'll be honest, I did not know what to expect here because if you go back and look at my original video, I friggin' loved the solo mode in the base game. It's a totally different solo mode. It's like, hey, what are y'all doing? Why are you inventing and designing a different solo mode than the one you originally had? But I love this one. I might even like it. I think I do like it more than the original because it feels more like a fully fleshed out player, although this one is more streamlined. So it's kind of perfect that the expansion has the slightly more complex, slightly more in-depth automa, while the base game has this simpler, more straightforward one. But this one was, again, very much recruit then attack, recruit then attack. I feel like the automa here tends to kind of vary that up more. I also find the new chapters more exciting, more varied. Your objectives really change as the game goes on. And like I said, I think there's a ton of variety in how your deck develops and what strategies you might pursue because of that each time you play the campaign. At least the 3 or so times I've gone through it before this, I saw very different things coming out. So yeah, Worldbreakers is from a small company. You might not have heard of it except for my videos, but I think they're doing awesome work with the expansion. I think they're doing awesome work with the base game. Definitely one to check out if you're interested in this type of gameplay. And yeah, again, spoiler, it will be in my top 40 of the year. That's why I wanted to film it, because it's great. So thanks for watching, everybody. And a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Nick Skeen, Pedro Lucas, Steve Wren, Miles, and Wayne Scott. We will see you at the next stop.